We are going to do a quick revisit of my Walther Q5. I've made some changes to it since the original video went up a couple of years ago, and I just want to briefly talk about this gun once again. So, the Walther Q5 polymer framed. It has a Vortex Frenzy on there, which I'll save the review for that for another day, but we'll talk about it briefly. But it has a C&H optics plate with the integrated rear sight on it and a C&H front sight to match that. So here's my quick story about this gun. I bought it years and years ago, not like decades ago, but years ago when they were first released and before the steel frame came out. If I knew the steel frame was around the corner, I probably would have waited because I do like steel frame guns, but I would have been on the fence because I also like steel frame guns with hammers. But anyway, I did buy this, and I actually think I believed too much hype about the gun and had high hopes for it, and it couldn't live up to those expectations. So originally I was disappointed with it. All the write-ups about this phenomenal trigger and just being one of the best striker fired guns on the market, blah, blah, blah. I never really felt the trigger was that good. The stock trigger, I should say. Never felt the trigger was that good. And all the talk about ergonomics, and I didn't feel with any of the three back straps I could get it to fit my hand right. So I originally put the factory optic plate with a Vortex Viper on it, and that was my first red dot, and it took me a while to warm up to it. I don't know if I truly ever did. So what I wound up doing is taking the optic off and going back to iron sights. Now with that said, I did enter a couple competitions with this, and these are basically accuracy competitions versus like their slow fire accuracy competitions versus courses. And I did very well with them. I actually believe I was on, course to win one, but I misunderstood the instructions, which is part of the game. And I lost like the last round or second to last round or something. So, but the gun was performing phenomenally that day. So it does perform. It just was never one of my favorites. So I decided to put some more time into this recently. So like I said, it was back to iron sights. But then I stumbled upon the C&H optics plate with the integrated rear sight, and they also feature a front sight, which will co-witness with it. And with that, maybe it's a 1/3. No, it's co-witness. So with that setup, I do like it a lot better. Number one, it pushed the optic down a little lower. And number two, I like to have iron sights. So there's also Springco trigger kit in this, like that competition spring kit, and between that, the Apex trigger, and a little bit of polishing, this thing breaks relatively consistent at 2.5 pounds or less. I know these Wheeler gauges are about like the crappiest things you can test on, but we'll do it here anyway. So that was 2. Try to get the same exact spot. And that was 2.5. 2.5 is about my average. So I just wanted to touch base with the viewers and say it is a good gun, all right? So was it like a groundbreaking gun for me? No. Was it something I learned to enjoy? Yes. So real quick, Vector Optics. I'm pretty much with Holosun, like on board with Holosun. I have several of them, and they're my standard. I actually, I have to admit, I don't have an RMR, but from what I've read, they're on par with RMR. But the Vector, clearly not on par with Holosun. The things I don't like about it the most is when I make adjustments, it doesn't click. It just kind of free spins, and it doesn't spin hard enough, in my opinion, to make me believe they're not going to walk. So I know a lot of guys use a white paint, but I did use a green paint just to check to see if anything's walking on me. And it hasn't, but I just don't trust it. And although the dot looks perfectly bright in here, outside in bright sunlight, it does not get bright enough. But that was what, 130 bucks or 140 bucks, I don't remember. But at that price point, you are right around the corner from a Holosun 407. So if I had to do it again, and I will have to do it again when I need another optic, I'm definitely just gonna spend the extra money and get a, you know, right to a Holosun. I currently have the 508 on my Shadow, and I love that. And I have a EPS carry coming in for a Glock 48, so I might be going the enclosed route from here on out, but we'll see. But Walther Q5, if you have one, let me know what you think of it. Thanks for watching.